Welcome to my channel, where your adventure into the future starts right now. Step into a vibrant universe filled with groundbreaking technology, breathtaking alien landscapes, and exhilarating sci-fi narratives that challenge your imagination. From daring explorations of distant galaxies to haunting journeys through dystopian societies, we uncover the most captivating stories and innovative ideas that will shape the world of tomorrow. Subscribe today and join us on an incredible intergalactic voyage that promises to inspire and thrill. The stars stretched vast and endless, ribbons of distant light dancing across the velvet blackness of the cosmos. Humanity had always looked at them with curiosity and wonder, tracing their paths across the heavens and dreaming of their mysteries. When the first interstellar contacts were made, the galaxy was chaotic, its great civilizations isolated and uncertain, vying for dominance, resources, and survival. These star empires and ancient civilizations looked at each other with suspicion, power, and war in their hearts. But they didn't expect what came next. Humans. There was something different about humans. They were a species small in comparison to the towering spacefaring empires, technologically modest compared to the advanced war machines of the ancients, and yet they carried something unique with them, a vision. Not a vision of power or conquest, nor of technology or ancient lore, but something that other civilizations found puzzling at first and then deeply compelling. It was the human vision of cooperation, communication, and shared understanding. It was a vision that spoke of alliances, relationships, and peace. Humans didn't enter the galactic stage as conquerors, nor as traders looking to exploit resources or engage in interstellar warfare. Instead, they entered as students, observers, and teachers. With open hands and eager minds, they began to study the diverse species of the galaxy and share their own understanding. They came with the bold idea that interstellar alliances weren't just strategic or political, they could be built on shared knowledge, shared culture, shared trust, and shared dreams. The first alliances were shaky, tentative affairs. The great empires were ancient, and their leaders had grown accustomed to domination and isolation. These interstellar nations had sophisticated ships, powerful weapons, and millennia of history, but they lacked something that humans possessed in abundance: the ability to trust, to build relationships without coercion, and to listen without judgment. Humans taught the other species how to listen. The first humans to teach these lessons did so in the most unexpected of ways. Through simple interactions, diplomacy, and cultural exchanges, they demonstrated that understanding could lead to peace without the need for firepower. With their small ships, they traveled to ancient ruins, great star systems, and long-forgotten outposts. They brought with them stories, art, music, gestures, and shared moments of joy. The other species looked at the humans with skepticism at first. These fragile, relatively small beings with their short lives and limited technology, yet they listened. It started with dialogue. Humans showed the alien races that communication was about more than words and translation programs. They used shared ideas, shared experiences, and the emotional language of gestures and shared symbols to build connections. They demonstrated that trust wasn't built by strength or threats, but by shared understanding and transparency. Humans didn't demand loyalty, resources, or technology. They asked questions, shared their hopes, and listened to the answers. One of the first species to adopt this approach was the Ilari, a race of aquatic beings with long, graceful bodies and bioluminescent patterns that shimmered under artificial light. The Ilari had spent centuries fighting with neighboring star empires, their biology poorly suited to negotiation and compromise. Yet when the humans appeared, they saw something different, a kind of compassion and understanding that resonated with them. The humans taught them how to value shared trade agreements and cultural exchange as the foundation of alliances, rather than cold warships and threats. Through this model, the humans showed that alliances could be forged through cooperation, shared exploration, and shared learning. They taught the Ilari how to use symbolism, how to listen deeply to subtle cues, how to create diplomatic pathways through shared goals rather than shared weapons. They didn't teach merely through lectures or formal presentations, but by example. By extending their hand to the Ilari and allowing them to make choices without pressure or coercion, they proved their point. Trust wasn't given, it was earned through actions. The Ilari, inspired by the humans' method, became one of the first interstellar partners to join the foundation of what would become a much larger network of cooperative star systems. And they weren't alone. The Brillari, an insectoid species with hive minds and disciplined systems of governance, learned similar lessons from humans. Though their ways of thinking were alien, their willingness to learn brought them to human dialogue. Humans taught them flexibility, patience, and the ability to see value in diversity. The Brillari found that compromise could be far more effective than sheer numbers and brute force. And so, alliances began to form not through bloodshed, not through conquest, and not through manipulation, but through shared understanding. It became a kind of interstellar philosophy, and humans were at the heart of it. Other species began to join the movement. The Sildarine, a species of gas giants with sentient gaseous bodies, were another great challenge for human diplomacy. They were massive, awe-inspiring beings that drifted in the atmospheres of their homeworlds. Though they were intelligent, they operated on a kind of logic that was deeply alien to human understanding. It took years for humans to establish a foundation of dialogue with the Sildarine. However, they learned to approach these immense beings with patience, communication, and humility. With each conversation, the Sildarine began to trust humans, understanding that the human approach to diplomacy wasn't about overwhelming strength, but mutual exploration. Humans also brought with them their shared history, the history of war, peace, mistakes, and triumphs. They taught other species that conflict could lead to learning, that peace could be fragile but worth striving for, and that interstellar relations were about the strength of shared belief, not sheer technology. Through cultural exchanges, technological innovation, and shared storytelling, they demonstrated that alliances didn't only rest on military prowess or shared resources. They rested on shared dreams, shared values, and shared empathy. The lessons humans taught became a guiding philosophy. Each star system, each empire, began to shift its perspective, seeing the potential for cooperation rather than dominance. Technology was shared, trade routes established, and understanding grew. Humans worked not just as intermediaries but as cultural bridges, teaching each species how to find common ground without surrender or exploitation. They emphasized shared exploration, joint missions to discover new planets, ancient ruins, and unknown interstellar phenomena. The goal was to ensure that all could participate in the joy of discovery rather than the loneliness of isolation. The network of alliances grew. At first, these partnerships felt fragile and uncertain. Some species resisted the notion of equality, questioning whether peace could truly outlast the temptation of strength. But humans held firm in their teachings, and their example proved true time and again. When conflicts arose, they became mediators rather than combatants, finding common paths through dialogue and shared exploration rather than conquest. Every star system, every empire, every alien race had something they could learn from others, and humans provided the guidance to show them how. Humans learned as well. They learned the customs of the other species, the ancient dances, ancient philosophies, and ancient ways of life that stretched back millennia. Each alien philosophy, from the Sildarine's meditations on logic to the Brillari's hive-minded focus on duty, taught them patience, perspective, and adaptability. They learned that there was no single path to peace, no single culture or philosophy that could resolve all conflicts. Every species brought unique ways of seeing, thinking, and existing, and humans learned to embrace that diversity. It wasn't just about teaching, it was about learning together. Through their advocacy, cultural exchanges, and exploration, humans became much more than observers or mediators. They became the architects of interstellar philosophy, teaching others that peace could be sustainable and that alliances could be about friendship, exploration, shared trade, and understanding rather than simple resource extraction or military might. They became the ambassadors of a new idea, one based on empathy, shared goals, and mutual trust. And the galaxy listened. It always did. The first great interstellar councils formed, inspired by the successes of human teaching and diplomacy. There were councils not just of warlords or monarchs, but of scientists, philosophers, explorers, and dreamers. The alliances that formed would eventually grow to span dozens of star systems, all operating on the shared principles of peace, cooperation, and mutual understanding. These star systems built trade agreements, research partnerships, and cultural exchanges. The stars no longer felt distant and cold, they felt like shared homes, communities bound by choice and common interest rather than brute force. Humans became more than just intermediaries. They became teachers, philosophers, and friends, and the stars themselves seemed brighter for their efforts. And so the cycle continued: exploration, communication, learning, and teaching. Humanity's gift to the stars wasn't just technological innovation or military strength. It was the simple, enduring power of empathy, dialogue, and shared purpose. One star system at a time, humans taught the galaxy how to build alliances. And through those alliances, they showed the galaxy that peace was possible. The stars shone a little brighter.